Part 6. 9 Generations of Villains, the heroines have all turned evil. Author, Fu Zituo. Chapter 51. 3 years later. During this period, the young Zhang Chen fulfilled his promise. Whenever someone bullied Qingning, he would appear at the first time. Whenever someone from the outside peak said that Qingning's talent was not worthy of being a true disciple, he would refute angrily, and if the refutation was useless, he would even challenge others. For 3 years, Zhang Chen always stood up for Qingning on the sparring stage. This gave the young Qingning great psychological support. Although others said a lot of bad things about Zhang Chen to her, and although during this period, the young Qingning had witnessed Zhang Chen doing some bad things, she didn't care, and even felt a little happy. Because the eldest brother was only good to her. When she came back from going out and gave Zhang Chen the natural treasures she had obtained with her luck, Zhang Chen would rub her head and say, "Qingning is really amazing." When she couldn't break through her cultivation and felt uncomfortable, Zhang Chen would accompany her to practice and preach to her. When she accidentally made a mistake and was scolded by Xuanhuan, Zhang Chen would protect her and say, "Master, I am the senior brother. Qingning made a mistake because I didn't teach her well. If you want to punish her, punish me." Qingning thought that her senior brother was the best person to her besides grandma. Of course, Master and Lin Mubai were also good to her, but they were sometimes too strict, which made her feel very stressed. Only when she was with Zhang Chen could she completely relax and enjoy the feeling of being completely cared for. In order to repay Zhang Chen and make her senior brother happy, young Qingning began to go out frequently for training, even to some extremely dangerous areas, and then gave Zhang Chen the natural treasures that she didn't need or were extremely precious for safekeeping. "Big brother, this is a 5th grade Beiji. Master said I don't need it, so I'll give it to you. Big brother, I picked up a top grade palm technique. Can you keep it for me? Big brother, aren't you practicing swordsmanship? This middle grade sword technique is given to you by Qingning. Big brother. Big brother." In the picture, every time Qingning returns from going out, she will find Zhang Chen as soon as possible and take out the treasures she has obtained on this trip. And every time, Zhang Chen will rub her head and say, "Qingning is really amazing." Seeing all these scenes, Qingning felt like her heart was being cut by a knife. She was so naive at that time, she naively thought that Zhang Chen was really praising her and was really proud of her. But after the incident of the Yulong Linko being taken away, she suddenly realized it. It turned out that all this was fake. The reason why Zhang Chen treated her so well and helped her out in everything was to win her favor, and then keep deceiving her, so as to obtain more natural treasures. The picture is still continuing. Young Qingning returned again. This time, her face was pale, with traces of blood staining her green clothes, and there were obvious traces of mud on her fair and tender cheeks. Even though she had to try her best to walk, she still found Zhang Chen in the first time. Although she was weak, she still forced a smile after seeing Zhang Chen, and said excitedly, "Big brother, look. Top grade spiritual sword. This time Qingning finally found something useful for you." Qingning in the void still remembered this scene. She remembered it clearly. During that time, Zhang Chen repeatedly made mistakes, which angered his master Xiao Hong'ai. Xiao Hong'ai believed that the reason why Zhang Chen bullied the weak was because he relied on himself as the only son of the Zhang family. In order to make the eldest disciple reform, Xiao Hong'ai strictly ordered Zhang Chen not to use any items of the Zhang family. Although this strict order was cancelled soon after, Zhang Chen, the big brother of Zhe Feng, did not even have a decent spiritual sword during that time. Even in a competition, he was defeated by the true disciple of the beast-taming peak. Seeing Zhang Chen in a low mood, Qingning went out again, wanting to help the senior brother get a decent spiritual sword. But at that time, Qingning was only a cultivator of the lower 4th realm, while Zhang Chen had already entered the Yuandan realm. And the spiritual weapon in the hands of the Yuandan cultivator must be at least of the middle grade. This is undoubtedly very difficult for the young Qingning. She can't buy it because she doesn't have so many spiritual crystals. And the ownerless spiritual weapons of the middle grade or above are definitely not accessible to the cultivators of the lower fourth realm. But even so, Qingning still refused to give up. When she heard that a cave paradise appeared hundreds of miles away from Juyan sect, she resolutely went there. She followed a group of Yuandan cultivators into the cave with the cultivation of the lower fourth realm. During the period, she experienced many life and death, and only when others didn't notice it, she quietly brought back a high-grade spiritual sword. Qingning is really amazing. Zhang Chen rubbed her head again. The same words, the same actions. Hearing this, the young Qingning laughed, her eyes were like crescent moons, and her voice was like a bell. This sentence seemed to be more effective than any panacea, and instantly healed her tired body and mind. On the contrary, seeing this scene, Qingning in the void clenched her white teeth and her delicate body trembled constantly. She was scolding herself. She scolded herself for being so stupid. At this moment, she wanted to ask Zhang Chen in the picture. Can't you see her scars all over her body? Can't you see her weak breath? In your eyes, is there only the spirit sword you brought back? Soon, Qingning calmed down again and smiled palely. How could she not see it? She was just pretending not to notice it. After all, in the eyes of her senior brother, she was just a tool to obtain various treasures. From the beginning to the end, Zhang Chen never really cared about her. Qingning, don't give me gifts anymore, Zhang Chen in the picture suddenly said. Why? Senior brother, do you hate Qingning? Young Qingning was anxious. Zhang Chen shook his head, hugged her in his arms, and said softly. Qingning, thank you. Everyone misunderstood me and questioned me. Only you, no matter what others said, still stood firmly on my side. Before, senior brother didn't dare to refuse your kindness. Because senior brother was worried that this would push you away and make you become the same as others. But now I know that I am really too selfish. At this point, Zhang Chen suddenly squatted down. He held the young Qingning's shoulders and looked directly into the latter's big eyes. His hands were shaking, tears in his eyes, and he almost shouted, "You are so injured, how did you come back? Do you want me, senior brother, to be heartbroken?" Young Qingning was scared. This seemed to be the first time Zhang Chen yelled at her. She should have felt bad, but for some reason, she felt that her young heart was full of warmth. Qingning in the void was also frightened. She had never heard these words before. She had never seen Zhang Chen so distressed about her. The memory seemed to be distorted. Zhang Chen's face in the picture was so familiar, but it suddenly became strange again. Who are you? Qingning asked blankly, looking at Zhang Chen in white clothes with a distressed face. 9 generations of villains, the heroines have all turned evil. Author, Fu Zituo. Chapter 52. Qingning felt that this was not a dream. Because everything was too real, and as a monk she couldn't wake up on her own initiative. She also felt that this was not her memory. Because the memory deviation was getting bigger and bigger, it seemed like it had really happened, but she had no impression of it. Zhang Chen in the picture once again fulfilled his promise. In the next 3 years, no matter what was sent to him, he refused to accept it. Zhang Chen even gave her a grounding order when he saw that she was in danger several times and was covered in bruises. During this period, Zhang Chen was still doing bad things. After second senior brother Lin Mubai got drunk, he found Zhang Chen and insulted him wantonly. Zhang Chen endured it again and again, until Lin Mubai began to insult the sect, the leader and the ancestor of Juyan, and then he had no choice but to beat him unconscious. Xuanhuan, who came over, saw this and thought Zhang Chen was beating his junior brother. Zhang Chen has warned his younger brothers many times that they are not allowed to pretend to be powerful, and are not allowed to go around doing evil under his banner. Some of the boys listened, and some didn't. As a result, there is no doubt that everything the younger brother did was blamed on Zhang Chen. A disciple of Jianfeng had a conflict with Zhang Chen. This disciple left the sect due to his mission, but died tragically outside. This matter alarmed the Supreme Elder for a time, but after an investigation by the sect, no clues were found. There was obviously no evidence, but everyone thought it was Zhang Chen who did it. The reason is ridiculous. In addition to the conflict between Zhang Chen and the disciple, Zhang Chen also left the sect on the day of the incident. Zhang Chen couldn't argue. Only Qingning in the void knew that Zhang Chen left the clan that day because she could not make any progress in her cultivation. Therefore, she contacted the Zhang family and asked the Zhang family to find some treasures that could improve her talent. After that, Zhang Chen's reputation became even worse. When Zhuyan sect disciples saw him, they almost all took a detour. Gradually, Qingning discovered. The senior brother who originally had a bright smile would look up at the sky alone in the dead of night, with a look of desolation on his face. Qingning was very distressed. She reminded herself that none of this was true, but she just felt so distressed. She doesn't understand. I don't understand why Zhang Chen is often misunderstood by others, and I don't understand why those people don't want to give Zhang Chen a chance to explain. Don't even understand. There are obviously such good senior brothers, masters, and other brothers, why don't they want to believe it? Don't know how to cherish it? Fortunately, in the picture, although she also encountered many bad things related to Zhang Chen, she still persisted in her position and believed that her senior brother was definitely not such a person. Until. How nice, senior brother. If it weren't for you, Qingning's Yulong spirit grass would have been snatched away by those bad guys. The appearance of this voice made Qingning's heart skip a beat in the void. At this moment, even if she didn't see anything, she already believed that Zhang Chen would never take away her jade dragon spirit grass like in reality. She comforted herself. Since the memories are different, the development of this matter should also be different. She hoped that she would believe that no matter what happened, she must believe in Zhang Chen. Because the senior brother is really different. But the result. Boom. A purple thunder struck from the sky. Drunk Lin Mubai used all his righteousness to destroy Zhang Chen's cultivation, but in the end, he only destroyed the Yulong pill. Elder brother, can you return the jade dragon spirit grass to me? Qingning in the picture asked with her head buried. Zhang Chen was speechless. It took him a long time before he finally replied, no more. Not gone, but destroyed. Seeing Zhang Chen being scolded by Xiao Hong'ai and seeing herself crying in the picture, Qingning was completely confused. She thought she was different. She thought that even if the whole world doubted it, she would never doubt the upright senior brother in the picture. But these are just presumptions. Ultimately, she is no different than anyone else. Do you want such a senior brother? The golden characters appeared again. Qingning still nodded. No, you don't want to. Qingning did not refute this time. She thinks. She obviously wants it very much, even in her dreams. But it was she herself who pushed such an upright senior brother away with her own hands. What exactly do you want to tell me? Qingning suddenly raised her head and asked. She didn't want to read any more. Many things obviously deviated from her memory, but the results were almost exactly the same. At this moment, she couldn't even tell the difference between reality and illusion. The disgusting senior brother in his mind was gradually replaced by Zhang Chen in the picture. She began to question everything, even herself. She began to guess. Is it also a misunderstanding to guess everything in reality? But the Zhang Chen in her memory was clearly not like this. She was confused, hesitant, and conflicted all the time. Sometimes laugh, sometimes cry. She was worried that if she continued reading, she would go crazy. Unfortunately, her question received no response. The scene was still going on. Qingning instinctively wanted to close her eyes, but found that she couldn't do it. Fortunately, the screen is no longer locked on Juyan sect, but changes as she goes out. This is the Hongduan Mountains. Looking around, Qingning was stunned. A young man appeared on the screen and saved himself from danger. Although the boy has dark skin, he is very approachable and will make people fall in love with him just by looking at him. "Your name is Lin Feng?" the girl in the picture asked. "Yes," the boy waved his hand, his voice was full of pride. "The tree that stands out in the forest, the wind that will destroy it?" "So you are very low-key?" the girl asked again. "My junior sister, you have misunderstood," the boy grinned, revealing a mouthful of white teeth. "I am the wind that destroys the wood, not the tree that stands out in the forest." "What do you mean?" the girl was puzzled and blinked blankly. "It means..." The boy scratched his head. "Oh, anyway, it's awesome. Anyone who stands in my way will be crushed by me like a dead tree." The girl seemed to understand. This should be a very confident person. Well, it's also interesting to talk. Not long after, Lin Feng became a disciple of Juyan sect, and Qingning was still training outside. After becoming a disciple, Lin Feng was deeply loved by his master and other senior brothers and sisters, except Zhang Chen. The atmosphere of Zhifeng has changed. Over time, everyone seemed to have forgotten that they had a senior brother, and the first person they thought of when something happened was Lin Feng. Looking at herself in the picture, getting closer and closer to Lin Feng, Qingning couldn't help frowning. She always felt that things were a bit weird. Because Lin Feng's luck was too good, even better than her, who had great luck. Zhang Chen obviously didn't need to go against Lin Feng, but he kept stopping others from contacting Lin Feng. Although he was ridiculed and slapped in the face many times, he still insisted. Qingning felt that Lin Feng and Zhang Chen were natural opposites. Lin Feng was like light, illuminating everyone's heart wherever he went. And Zhang Chen was darkness, and everyone avoided him. But who determined light and darkness? Why can't it be changed? Is it that people who are determined to be dark are destined to fall into darkness no matter how hard they struggle? "This is unfair," Qingning murmured. The picture jumped instantly, and it was several years later. She who disappeared and refused to return to the sect finally came back. "Before entering the mountain gate, I saw Zhang Chen, who seemed to have been waiting for a long time." "Junior sister Qingning, this is the enlightenment leaf, which can greatly improve your talent." Zhang Chen took out a green leaf full of vitality and said. "Brother, do you want to make up for the matter of robbing my Yulong Linko?" Qingning asked after returning. "Junior sister, I have always wanted to explain this to you. I didn't want to rob the Yulong Linko, but many accidents happened along the way." "Accident? If it is an accident, it has nothing to do with you, senior brother. Why did you give it to me? This is also a precious 8th grade enlightenment leaf in the upper domain." Zhang Chen was silent. "Ah." Qingning in the picture sighed. She was not a person who held grudges. After several years of experience, she also matured a lot. "Big brother, I've figured it out and I've grown up." Qingning straightened his expression and said seriously, "Although you lied to me for 6 years, you also took care of me for 6 years. The two offset each other, and neither of us owes the other anything. From now on, you will still be my big brother, but don't expect me to be a tool anymore. If I have a choice, I don't want you to grow up this way," Zhang Chen said sadly. "If I have a choice, I don't want to either." After saying this, Qingning left straight away. "Junior sister, this enlightenment leaf." Zhang Chen shouted behind him. "Brother, keep it for yourself. Don't get me wrong, I'm not still holding a grudge against you, but I don't need this enlightenment leaf anymore." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. 9 generations of villains, the heroines have all turned evil. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 53. The Zhang family spent several years to finally find the enlightenment leaf, but she rejected it. Looking at Zhang Chen's lost look, Qingning in the void began to hate herself. She thought she was a victim, but everything proved that she and other brothers and sisters were the initiators who pushed Zhang Chen into the abyss of hell. Fortunately, things are not without a turn. Because the self in that picture did let go of his resentment towards Zhang Chen. Although he was not as dependent on Zhang Chen as before, he would occasionally go out with Zhang Chen to train. Although the two did not talk much, with Zhang Chen's efforts, it was obvious that their relationship gradually turned from cold to hot. Just when Qingning thought that things were starting to turn around, God seemed unwilling to let Zhang Chen have an easy time. The 9 peaks, which had been silent for a long time, were startled by a scream and many white cranes were awakened. In Qingning's residence, Zhang Chen's eyes were pink, and he kept approaching Qingning, making strange noises from his mouth. Qingning in the picture covered her clothes and wanted to escape, but she was bound by the powerful Yuan Qi and couldn't move. She called for help and cursed. But Zhang Chen was indifferent. At the critical moment, Xiao Hong'ai arrived with a group of fellow disciples. Xiao Hong'ai saw that Zhang Chen was not right at a glance, and immediately rapped him with a red whip and checked Zhang Chen's body. As a result, there was nothing unusual. Could it be the heart-eating charming soul pill? Xiao Hong'ai was shocked. With her intervention, Zhang Chen naturally did not succeed. But rumors spread all over Zhifeng. Xiao Hong'ai knew the existence of the heart-eating charming soul pill, but other disciples did not know. They all agreed that this was just Xiao Hong'ai's way of favoring Zhang Chen. After all, many people had checked and there was nothing unusual in Zhang Chen's body at that time. Some people even thought, even if Zhang Chen really ate a special poison pill, it must have been eaten by himself, and he wanted to take the opportunity to flirt with him. In this way, even if the truth came out, he could get away with it. Qingning in the picture was also a little confused, but her relationship with Zhang Chen, which had finally broken the ice, was indeed affected by this incident and fell to the bottom again. Junior sister Qingning, you are too kind. In the past, the senior brother protected you in the name of protection, but in fact he robbed you. Now he has learned to be smart and uses this method to exonerate himself. You must not be fooled, Lin Feng has been persuading her. What if it really has nothing to do with the senior brother? Absolutely impossible. Think about it, the senior brother is notorious now, why would others poison him? What's the point of this? Besides, who doesn't know that the senior brother has the support of the Fengling Jiang family? Don't you want to live anymore? Qingning in the picture was silent and felt that there was some truth. Seeing this, Lin Feng struck while the iron was hot and said, Junior sister, even if you don't believe me, you have to stay away from the senior brother. You have to learn to protect yourself. Yet, the goal was achieved, and Lin Feng left happily. Looking at his back, Qingning in the void frowned. As a bystander, she felt that this matter had absolutely nothing to do with Zhang Chen, but for a moment she couldn't think of who would be so vicious and poison Zhang Chen. The scene suddenly changed. What came into Qingning's eyes was Lin Feng and a middle-aged man in a Dan robe. She had a slight impression of this middle-aged man, who seemed to be the elder of Danfen, named Ma Wu. Ma Wu. Are you crazy? You actually poisoned Zhang Chen? Do you know that he almost succeeded? Lin Feng shouted angrily. Why should my nephew panic? Ma Wu smiled slightly and said confidently, I am very clear about the effect of the heart-eating charming soul pill, and there will be no accidents. Although Zhang Chen was not severely punished this time, Xiao Hongai's reputation was also dragged down by this incident. If Zhang Chen makes a mistake again next time, Xiao Hongai will definitely not have the face to continue to protect him. But isn't this too insidious? Lin Feng, never do such despicable things. Lin Feng frowned. Junior brother, we are considering this for Julian section. Zhang Chen will bring disaster to the sect sooner or later. Haven't you noticed that the disciples of Zhu Feng have changed their views on him recently? This. Lin Feng hesitated. But it was only for a moment. He is indeed lustful and will do anything to achieve his goal. But I always feel that this matter is too dirty and does not match his identity as the son of destiny. Humph, Elder Ma, there is no need to say more. Lin Feng waved his hand. Although I hate Zhang Chen, I don't want to use such means. Tomorrow, I will inform the law enforcement hall of what you have done, and you just wait for punishment. Hearing this, Ma Wu was not panicked, but asked back, then what? How do you deal with yourself after everyone knows that you misunderstood Zhang Chen? Defeat him head-on, Lin Feng replied in seconds. Junior brother Qingning used to rely on Zhang Chen very much. After learning the truth, she will definitely change her mind completely. At that time, are you sure that you can win her heart by competing head-on with Zhang Chen? This. Lin Feng hesitated again. Junior brother, when we fight against evil, we must be prepared to tarnish our feathers. You are a rare talent, the hope of the Julian sect, so don't make mistakes. After saying this, Ma Wu left. Lin Feng was stunned and made a decision after a long time. Junior sister Qingning is mine. Anyway, this matter has nothing to do with me, I don't know anything. Boom. After hearing this, Qingning in the void was struck by lightning. She had long noticed that Lin Feng was not as glamorous as he seemed on the surface, but she didn't expect him to be so despicable. Although this matter was indeed not done by Lin Feng, he was undoubtedly an accomplice. Those who help the evil are even more hateful than the initiators. But she personally sent such a person to Julian sect. In front of the master and fellow disciples. Qingning finally understood this. Why did Zhang Chen always oppose Lin Feng? Perhaps he saw through Lin Feng's nature. At this moment, she had never hated a person so much. Even when she misunderstood Zhang Chen and thought she was being used as a tool, she felt more lost. But what if she understood? She couldn't change anything after all. Under various coincidences and misunderstandings, Zhang Chen's evil deeds continued. No matter how hard he tried, he got the worst result. Gradually, even Xiao Hongai, who had always favored him, became discouraged. At this moment, Qingning finally understood. Lin Feng should be the son of destiny, favored by heaven and earth. And Zhang Chen, perhaps, was the stepping stone specially prepared by heaven for Lin Feng. Heaven is unkind, and treats all things as straw dogs. Looking up at the sky, she suddenly remembered the sentence. Just because this is God's will, Zhang Chen will continue to be misunderstood. And Lin Feng can get everyone's favor in the easiest way wherever he goes. Why? Why can God decide everything about a person? Why should her upright senior brother become a stepping stone for the son of destiny? The most hateful thing is herself. If she trusted Zhang Chen a little more, if she didn't introduce Lin Feng to Julian sect, all this might not have happened. What am I thinking about? Qingning in the void shook her head again. At that moment, she completely substituted the plot in the picture, and regarded everything as a reality that had happened. This is an illusion, this must be an illusion. My senior brother is not so upright. He did beat up his fellow disciples and took away my Yulong Linko. He did flirt with master and many junior sisters. He did. As she spoke, Qingning cried. The more she reminded herself, the more uncomfortable she felt. All the images that had appeared were imprinted in her mind like a brand, and could never be erased. Looking at Zhang Chen in the picture, she finally choked up and said, "Big brother, I'm sorry. 9 generations of villains, the heroines have all turned evil. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 54. 1 year later, Zhufeng Yongxiao Palace. Zhang Chen knelt in the hall, his face gloomy, and the dried blood in his hands was extremely glaring. There were curses on him all around. Just now, Zhang Chen was discovered by Xuanhuan and others while holding Lin Muibai's heart. He wanted to explain and prove his innocence, but every time he spoke, he would be interrupted by others scolding him. Seeing such a situation, Qingning in the void felt that his heart was being cut bit by bit. At this time, she no longer struggled with whether this was a fantasy or reality. After years of watching on the sidelines, she has completely taken part in it. She complains about Zhang Chen's injustice every day and sheds tears for him. She couldn't imagine it. At this moment, even she who was watching was like this, so how uncomfortable was the person involved, Zhang Chen? During this period, she also explained to Zhang Chen. He also scolded his fellow disciples and called himself a wolf-hearted person. For this reason, her eyes were red and swollen from crying, and her voice was hoarse from crying, but no one could hear her. The accusations continued. Although Zhang Chen did nothing, he was like a sinner with unforgivable crimes, waiting for punishment from the just man. Gradually, Qingning gave up. She got it. In this world, except for the eldest brother, everyone else is bad, including herself. All she can do now is cling to Zhang Chen's side and feel the malice around him. Elder brother. Shall we leave? Leave Zhufeng, leave Juyan section. Let's find a place where no one is and live together. Even if I am trapped in this life, I am willing to stay with you. Although you can't hear, I can sing to you. Although you can't see it, I can sleep with you. Although you can't feel it, I can hold you, cry with you, laugh with you. As she spoke, she cried again. Her tears couldn't stop flowing. She knelt in front of Zhang Chen and begged, "Elder brother, please. If this is the price of integrity, Qingning hopes you will be a bad person for the rest of your life." Although she screamed with all her strength and cried heartbreakingly, Zhang Chen still couldn't hear her, and she still looked like a puppet. Zhang Chen, your crime of harming a fellow sect is unforgivable. From now on, you will no longer be the true successor of the 9 peaks of the Juyan sect, nor will you be my disciple of Xuanhuan. Today I will abolish your cultivation and seal the Zhang family as a mausoleum. If you have any complaints, just ask them to come to me. Xuanhuan's cold voice suddenly sounded. Hearing this, Zhang Chen's body trembled. Qingning stood up abruptly, with a strong hatred appearing in her big, extremely smart eyes. Boom! A breath that could stop breathing appeared, and Zhang Chen was instantly blasted out of the Juyan sect. Qingning hurriedly chased after him. But the moment she was about to leave Yongxiao Palace, she suddenly turned back. The originally extremely friendly faces of Xuanhuan and others now became hateful in her eyes. She clenched her fists, her eyes were red and swollen, and she shouted with a hint of madness, "I hate you." After saying this, she added another sentence in her heart. "I hate myself even more." Qingning ran out of Yongxiao Palace and ran all the way. She passed the sparring table. "I am senior brother Zhufeng. If anyone speaks ill of my third junior sister behind my back again, come and fight me." She ran across Zhufeng Avenue. "Qingning, how many times have I told you? Don't jump on Zhufeng Avenue. What if you fall into the mountain stream?" She came to the foot of Zhufeng Mountain. "Qingning, if anyone bullies you in the future, tell me. I'll beat him up." Every time she arrived at a place, Zhang Chen's words appeared in her mind. She felt her heart bleeding. After stumbling along the way, she finally ended up at the section. I saw Zhang Chen, who was unconscious and covered in scars. "Qingning, I am your senior brother and you are my junior sister. This will never change." Zhang Chen's words emerged again. Qingning suddenly left. She came to Zhang Chen and knelt down, gently touching the latter's cheek with her right hand. There were tears in her eyes and her smile was as bright as a flower. Elder brother, Qingning understands now. It turns out that I don't care at all whether you are good or bad. It turns out that I don't care at all about what you do to others. Other people say I'm stupid, and they say I can't see through your nature. That's not actually the case. Actually, Qingning is not that great at all. In fact, I am also very selfish. When I learned that you had lied to me for 6 years, I felt desperate and painful, and there was always a voice in my head. The voice kept saying, "Elder brother doesn't care about me at all." At this time, I finally understood that I actually don't care about Yulong's spiritual grass at all. What I care about has always been whether you have me in your heart. Hey, senior brother. As expected, Qingning still likes you the most. She is really selfish. It was clear that Zhang Chen's cultivation had been depleted and he was expelled from the sect, but she was a little happy. Because in this way, she can always be by Zhang Chen's side. In this way, no one can hurt Zhang Chen or separate her from Zhang Chen. At this moment, Qingning knew her true heart. Even if this is really an illusion, even if the Zhang Chen in front of her is just her fantasy. But as long as Zhang Chen cares about her, she is really willing to stay in this illusion for the rest of her life and accompany Zhang Chen all the way until the end of her life. Suddenly, a figure wearing a red robe appeared. When she saw this person, a strong murderous intent appeared on Qingning's fair face. This person was Ma Wu. How could the young master of the Zhang family fall to this? Ma Wu laughed. His laughter was harsh, and every word that followed made Qingning's murderous intent even stronger. After ridiculing him, Ma Wu left. Before leaving, he did not forget to praise him, praising his justice, praising his selflessness. Seeing Ma Wu walking further and further away, Qingning suddenly felt powerless. She wanted to cut Ma Wu into pieces, but she couldn't do it at all. Who? Qingfeng suddenly appeared. An old man in a purple robe, holding a purple blood-silver dragon staff, suddenly appeared beside the unconscious Zhang Chen like a ghost. The old man was hunched over, and just by looking at Zhang Chen, his wrinkled face was full of heartache. Bang! The cane in his hand hit the ground, making a crisp sound. When the sound reached his ears, Ma Wu, who had already walked far away, suddenly lost control of his body and stood there in fear. The old man walked forward slowly, muttering. The young master repeatedly told me to stay away from Juyan section. I feel bad, old man. After all, I watched the young master grow up, and he called me grandfather when he was a child. How can a grandfather not see his grandson? The young master has always said that no matter what happens to him, I am not allowed to attack the people of Juyan section. I listened. For more than 10 years, no matter how you treat him, I listened. Because this is the young master's order. It is the wish of my grandson. But what is the result? At this point, the old man suddenly raised his head and asked coldly, as a result, you dared to abolish my grandson's cultivation? Expel the young master of the Zhang family from the sect. Let this kind of rat frame him again and again. The voice filled with boundless anger, like thunder, rolled away. In just an instant, it spread throughout the entire Juyan sect, shaking all the peaks and ridges of Juyan sect, and birds and beasts fled everywhere. After saying that, bang! The old man's cane hit the ground again. Bang! A dull sound came out. It turned out that Ma Wu, who was stiff and motionless in the distance, exploded alive. Instantly turned into a ball of blood mist. How dare you? Chen Sheng. You, a devil, dare to kill my elder of Juyan sect. Fengling Zhang family took you in, and you don't want to repay the favor, but such behavior is to discredit the Zhang family. I knew that you, a devil, would never change your mind. Since you killed my elder of Julian sect, then you stay. Several deep voices sounded from Julian sect, and the moment the voices fell, several spiritual lights came quickly. Humph. The old man sneered, and his hunched body gradually straightened up. At the moment when he straightened his body, a powerful spiritual power burst out from his body, like a huge wave, layered and directly rushed towards the several spiritual lights that were shooting at him. Then, the several spiritual lights came into contact with the air waves in the air and were instantly knocked down. Several old men fell from the air and smashed into the peaks of Julian like cannonballs, and bursts of muffled groans were heard. You have reached the realm of supernatural powers, a great elder of Julian sect exclaimed. Humph! How can a central region ant know the power of the Zhang family? The old man snorted coldly and said disdainfully, if you want to keep me, then let the ancestor of Julian come in person. Arrogant, the great elder appeared and said coldly, you are not worthy of the ancestor to take action. The Zhang family acts like this, and the dynasty will not sit idly by. If it weren't for the concern for the dynasty, the Julian sect would have been destroyed today, the old man replied in seconds. All the great elders were speechless. Suddenly, the old man's ears moved slightly, as if he heard something. After frowning and thinking for a while, he said again, old ancestor Julian, you can fool me, but you can't fool the Zhang family. You should explain this to the head of the family yourself, otherwise before the dynasty takes action, my Zhang family will definitely destroy your Julian sect first. After that, the old man raised his hand and pointed at the unconscious Zhang Chen, who was instantly wrapped in a cloud of mist and then floated up. Young master, it's time to go home. 9 generations of villains, the heroines have all turned evil. Author, Fu Zituo. Chapter 55. Qing Ning was stunned. The old man killed Ma Wu at the Julian sect by himself, and his might was so overwhelming that all the great elders of Julian sect could not raise their heads. She had always known that the Zhang family was strong, but she did not expect it to be so strong. Seeing the old man walking further and further away, she panicked again and hurried to catch up. But just as she was about to step out of Julian sect, she was bounced back by an invisible force, and a membrane wall seemed to appear in front of her, which could not be passed through at all. Let me pass, Qing Ning was going crazy, beating the membrane wall desperately. She thought she could accompany Zhang Chen to go on, but she did not expect that she could not leave Julian sect at all. It would be better to kill her directly than let her watch Zhang Chen leave. 1. 2. 3. She used her petite body to continuously hit the invisible membrane wall. With every collision, she would be thrown several meters away, but she would jump up at the first moment and continue to move regardless of the injuries on her body. Until after hundreds of collisions, her figure had already shown signs of collapse. She finally passed through the wall membrane and fell to the ground in front of her. Qing Ning breathed a sigh of relief, and after looking around, she found that she could no longer find the old man and Zhang Chen. Big brother must have returned to the upper domain, Qing Ning said to herself. She subconsciously wanted to move, but she didn't know the way to the upper domain. It doesn't matter, the scene will change again, maybe I will see Big Brother again next time, she comforted herself again. But after waiting for several hours, she was still in the same place. The world seemed to have suddenly become normal, and she could clearly feel the slow passage of time. Are you punishing me? Qing Ning smiled palely. Her wish was very simple. She just wanted Zhang Chen to care about her, and she just wanted to stay with Zhang Chen all the time. But even with such a simple wish, the heaven refused to satisfy her. I can wait, and wait forever, Qing Ning whispered again. Although she didn't know the way to the upper domain, she knew the direction of the upper domain. She decided to wait at the end of that direction. No matter how long it takes, she must wait for Zhang Chen to come back. Even if Zhang Chen never comes back, she will wait forever. After making up her mind, Qingning left. After taking a few steps, she looked back at Zhu Yanzong behind her. It was not that she was reluctant to leave, but she always felt that when she broke through the membrane wall just now, it seemed that someone sighed in her ear. In a blink of an eye, several years have passed. In the northernmost part of the central region, there is a bottomless and endless natural chasm. The cold wind in the natural chasm is like a knife, which seems to be able to cut the soul. The black mist that occasionally sprays from the bottom of the natural chasm is like a bloodthirsty monster, which can instantly devour the cultivators below the upper fourth realm and leave only bones. Beside the natural moat, a young girl has been standing here for several years. She is Qingning, who came to find Zhang Chen. Over the years, Qingning has tried countless times to rely on her illusory body to float across the natural moat. But the result is without exception, all of them were blown back by the gloomy wind in the natural moat. Qingning doesn't understand. Obviously, her voice and appearance are not audible or visible to others. But why can the gloomy wind in the natural moat blow her back directly? Under that gloomy wind, her illusory body is also like a real entity. She really can't figure it out, so she gave up. Since she can't get through, the only thing she can do is wait. Fortunately, there are occasionally upper four realm cultivators coming from the upper domain. Through their conversations, Qingning also learned some things about Zhang Chen. Not long ago, the Zhang family of Fenling seems to have been wiped out. Qingning can't imagine what happened to make such a powerful Zhang family be wiped out overnight. She was worried about Zhang Chen's safety, but she could do nothing. Just when Qingning was planning to try to cross the chasm again, even if she died, she would go to the upper domain to find Zhang Chen. I saw a man standing on an ancient imperial bell, slowly floating from the other side of the chasm. Although the man was unkempt, his facial features were still very handsome. Although he had no expression on his face, his black eyes still shone brightly. "Big brother," Qingning called with a sob. She finally waited. Seeing Zhang Chen jump off the imperial bell, she quickly wiped her tears and quickly followed him. Standing behind Zhang Chen, the two were half a body apart. He walked in front with his head held high. She followed step by step. No one disturbed her, and all this was exactly what Qingning expected. "Haha, big brother, I stepped on your shadow." "You lost," Qingning suddenly laughed as he walked. Qingning had never felt that time passed so quickly. In this world, she is lonely. Because no one can hear her words, no one can see her appearance. But she is happy. 10 years later, she accompanied Zhang Chen to almost travel all over the central region. They had been to the depths of the Hongduan Mountains, where Zhang Chen picked up a white fox with a snow-white body and 3 tails. Qingning felt that the white fox must be female. Otherwise, how could it stick to Zhang Chen every day, even crawling into Zhang Chen's arms when sleeping? She also felt that the white fox had no conscience. Because Zhang Chen treated it very well, but the white fox never appeared again after it was promoted to the Demon King. They had been to the Ghost Ridge Soul Abyss. Zhang Chen met a demon girl from the Yugui sect there, who seemed to be the one who dug out Lin Muibai's innate Taoist bones. The two had just met. Zhang Chen attacked and wanted to kill the demon girl directly, but the demon girl seemed to be of great importance and had a protector of the upper fourth realm. No doubt. Although Zhang Chen had regained his cultivation, he was definitely not the opponent of the upper fourth realm cultivator, so he had to escape to the depths of the Ghost Ridge Soul Abyss to hide. Unexpectedly, due to various coincidences, he was chased by a female ghost again. Qingning believed that the female ghost must be a pervert. Because the female ghost was obviously unfathomable in cultivation, but she still chased Zhang Chen around like a monkey, and laughed frivolously. She must be coveting the male beauty of the senior brother, Qingning was very sure. After escaping from the Ghost Ridge Soul Abyss with great difficulty, Zhang Chen once again faced the pursuit of the Yugui sect. After escaping from the birthday, they sneaked into the Danggu pagoda again. Jiang Chen was clearly seeking revenge, and after destroying the Danggu pagoda's tower guarding tripod, he quietly ran away again. Thinking of the way the female tower master of Danggu Tower gritted her teeth and stamped her feet, Qingning also felt extremely happy. Then, Jiang Chen met a woman. A woman with stunning beauty, no less than Xuanhuan and others. This woman made Qingning feel like she was facing a great enemy. Because she was not like others, not only did she hate and dislike Jiang Chen, but she even launched an almost pathological and crazy pursuit of Jiang Chen. She was the true disciple of the Wandao demon sect. For Jiang Chen, she killed her master. For Jiang Chen, she sneaked into the Juyan sect alone and wanted to kill everyone in Zhifeng. After her whereabouts were exposed, she didn't forget to slap Lin Feng a few times before escaping. For Jiang Chen, she kidnapped the sword girl of the Qi Yao Sword Pavilion and wanted to be Jiang Chen's concubine. For Jiang Chen, she even almost fell into madness. All these things almost moved Qingning to tears. But Jiang Chen was very troubled. Because of the behavior of the witch, his bad reputation spread again in the central region. After losing the Zhang family, he was being hunted endlessly. The hunt by various forces lasted for several years. When he came to his senses, Jiang Chen was already a cultivator of the upper fourth realm, surrounded by 5 sword masters from the Qi Yao Sword Pavilion. That battle made Qingning's blood boil, and she exclaimed, "Big brother is so handsome." The final result. Jiang Chen fought 5 people alone and killed several people directly. He was once called a sword emperor. Qingning thought that this should be Jiang Chen's highlight moment. But she soon discovered. This was just the beginning of another nightmare. Jiang Chen, you have committed many evil deeds, and today is your retribution. Lin Feng, who came with a group of junior brothers and sisters, said so. In the crowd ahead, Qingning saw herself again. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. 9 generations of villains, the heroines have all turned evil. Author, Fu Zituo. Chapter 56. Why? Looking at those familiar faces, Qingning kept asking why. Why are these people still unwilling to let go of their senior brother? Why are they still so heartless towards Jiang Chen after so many years? Why yourself? Or is it that ignorant and stupid? Anyway, the war resumes. Although Jiang Chen is strong enough, he is still no match for Lin Feng and others. Qingning knows. In fact, even if Jiang Chen really had that strength, he would not want to hurt the junior brothers and sisters in front of him. Puff. Jiang Chen was defeated and spit out a mouthful of dirty blood. Look at him falling to the ground, looking so embarrassed. Lin Feng is laughing. Zhang Lianyu and Lin Mubai were also laughing. They laughed very freely and comfortably, almost exactly the same as the smiles that Ma Wu showed when Jiang Chen's cultivation was deposed and Ma Wu arrived. Just when Lin Feng wanted to kill him. Please, spare his life. A crying voice sounded. Following the sound, Qingning's beautiful eyes narrowed. She never expected that the person who made the sound would be herself. Junior sister Qingning, have you forgotten what he did to you? Not only did he want to belittle you, he also deceived you for 6 years, Lin Feng said in disbelief. I know that his crimes are countless, and I also know that he doesn't care about me at all. But I once liked him. Qingning in the picture buried her head and said. Hearing this, everyone fell silent. Lin Feng's eyes narrowed slightly, and several angry auras flashed through them. Just when he was completely murderous. Bang! A dull voice sounded. The natal spiritual sword beside Jiang Chen exploded, and violent spiritual power swept around him instantly. When everything quieted down, he was nowhere to be seen. Since junior sister Qingning can't bear it, let's let him go this time, Lin Feng said with a smile. Thank you, senior brother. Qingning in the picture took a deep breath and said gratefully, this is the last time. From now on, he will no longer be my senior brother, and he and I will be completely strangers. As it should be. Soon, Lin Feng and others also left. Only Qingning in the void stayed where he was. She was at a loss. She was horrified. Her heart felt as if it had been hollowed out, and even breathing was extremely painful. Because, she lost Zhang Chen. Everything happened so fast just now, she had no idea where Zhang Chen had gone. Senior brother, Qingning kept calling, but got no response. In desperation, she came to the chasm again like a zombie. She felt that Zhang Chen should have fled to the upper domain, so she planned to continue waiting here. But this wait is more than 10 years. She did not wait for Zhang Chen to appear, but she waited for the news that the imperial court issued an imperial edict and that the Juyan sect won the sect competition and was promoted to the upper domain sect. And the moment I learned the news, the picture in front of me began to rotate and distort, and there seemed to be signs of sudden change. Qingning was instantly delighted. She thought that she should be able to see Zhang Chen again. It turned out to be what she thought. When the screen returned to normal, she did see Zhang Chen, but it was Zhang Chen whose chest was pierced by a black knife, blood soaked into his white clothes, and he was already dying. No, Qingning shouted and ran quickly. She lay on top of Zhang Chen and used the most vicious words to insult her former master and former brothers. She begged the golden characters to appear again, and then kill her too. After all, if Zhang Chen is gone, what is the meaning of her life? Do you want to continue to be trapped in this world for thousands of years? And then suffered? Elder brother, don't die, Qingning, please. Qingning will sing to you, okay? Qingning will listen to you from now on. I will learn to grow up and never bother you again. As long as you don't die, I will do anything you want. Elder brother, please. Qingning kept begging. But no matter how she begged or howled, Zhang Chen's vitality was still rapidly decreasing. Feeling powerless again, she sat on the ground and burst into tears. Although she is already 16 years old, she cries like a young child. Qingning thought that when she first joined the Juyan sect, she would be like this now, crying loudly from time to time. But this time, that senior brother will no longer rub her head and laugh at her as a crybaby. Let them go. Before dying, Zhang Chen grabbed the corner of Lin Feng's clothes, with blood in his mouth, and finally squeezed out these words. Hearing this, Lin Feng's pupils shrank. Seeing Zhang Chen's breath completely disappear, Qingning's cry became even louder for a moment. She didn't know the meaning of Zhang Chen's words before he died, but she had no intention of thinking about it. Because her senior brother is no longer here. She has long since stopped caring about other people and other things. In the haze of tears, Qingning saw Xuanhuan running towards the dead Zhang Chen, crying so hard that she blamed herself endlessly. Lin Feng forcefully pulled Xuanhuan away, and then released a stream of pill fire to burn Zhang Chen's body. After everyone left, Qingning's crying stopped abruptly. An extremely familiar object caught her eye. That's a wooden sword. A small wooden sword with extremely rough workmanship was gradually disappearing under the burning fire. Qingning is so awesome. I like this senior brother Mujian very much. Even if he dies, I will take him into the coffin. Zhang Chen's words suddenly emerged. Qingning felt like she was struck by lightning. At this moment, she seemed to hear her own heartbroken voice. The firelight was still there, but the girl's eyes no longer had any sparkle. She looked blankly at the blazing pill fire. Zhang Chen's face seemed to be reflected in the hot fire, and he was smiling at her. The girl crawled toward the flames, stretched her white right hand into the flames, and caressed Zhang Chen's smile. She smiled too. The smile was so pale, the eyes were dull, and the smile was crazy. Elder brother, you don't mean what you say. There is obviously no coffin here. Jiang Chen's departure seemed to take away Qing Ning's soul. Hundreds of years passed by slowly. She always sat where Jiang Chen died, hugging her knees and burying her head in them like an ostrich. During this period, it seemed that many people came and said something. But she heard none of it. Because the words Jiang Chen once said kept recurring in her ears and became her only spiritual support. She was afraid that if she moved, Jiang Chen's voice would disappear. Therefore, she has not moved at all in 100 years. Suddenly one day, the scene that had not changed in 100 years was transformed again. Maintaining the same posture, Qing Ning seemed to hear Lin Feng's wild laughter, the tragic death sounds of Xiao Hong'ai, Zhang Lianyu and herself. She got it? It turned out that before he died, Jiang Chen was begging Lin Feng to let them go. Soon, all kinds of noisy sounds gradually stopped, and Qing Ning felt like she was floating in the void. She still didn't move, because it didn't matter. Sudden. "Are you my senior brother?" a familiar girl's voice sounded. "Yes, I am your senior brother," the young man said in a very proud voice. "From now on, you will be my third junior sister. If someone bullies you, just tell me. I will beat him." Hearing this, Qing Ning's delicate body trembled slightly, and she raised her head that had been buried for nearly 100 years. What caught her eyes was Jiang Chen, a young man dressed in white with the same cheerful and clean smile. He glanced at the three golden characters "Second Life" suspended in the sky above the sky. Qing Ning smiled. She quickly ran towards the young Jiang Chen and said with a smile, "Elder brother, Qing Ning is finally waiting for you." 9 generations of villains, the heroines have all turned evil. Author, Fu Zituo. Chapter 57. A person's collapse often only takes a moment. Qing Ning was happy at this moment, because Jiang Chen's reappearance made her feel her heart beat again. But when she found out what happened in this life was slightly different from the previous life, but the result was still the same. When she found out this was not an illusion, nor was someone punishing her, but Jiang Chen's true memory, she collapsed. Although Jiang Chen's smile in the picture was still warm, she could only feel a strong sense of guilt. She hated herself and everyone. Perhaps all this was affected by God, but they were complete accomplices, constantly stabbing Jiang Chen in the heart. One knife, another knife. One life, another life. Until the flesh and blood were dripping, and there were thousands of holes. In every life, Jiang Chen was smiling. But Qing Ning could see that the light in his black eyes was gradually dissipating. In every life, Jiang Chen was working hard. But Qing Ning could see that Jiang Chen's expression gradually dimmed when facing misunderstanding and cold eyes. She could only watch all this. Even if her tears dried up and her heart ached like her soul was torn apart, she could only watch like this. Life after life, watching Jiang Chen being misunderstood by everyone. Life after life, watching Jiang Chen die in Lin Feng's hands. Life after life, watching the small wooden sword gradually burned by the fire. 8th life. It was still the same ending. Qing Ning stood beside Jiang Chen in a daze. At this moment, she was like a puppet, her huge eyes were as empty as the abyss of the underworld, making people afraid. This life was a little different. At the moment when Jiang Chen died, thunder roared in the sky and spiritual rain poured down. The spiritual rain did not extinguish the fire that burned Jiang Chen's body, but instead fueled the momentum of the flames, which became more and more intense, until the flames illuminated the sky and the whole place was red. Under the firelight, the rain is like blood. The wind is roaring. The thunder is protesting. The heaven seems to be afraid. That's why he is so bluffing and trying his best to show his power. The spiritual rain is still there, with no sign of stopping. Qing Ning looked up at the sky, letting the rain hit her face, then slide down her cheeks and finally drip onto the ground. At this moment, she could no longer feel the cold. The only thing that can prove that she is still alive is the pain that goes deep into her bones and the guilt that can make people crazy. "Big brother, Qingning is in pain," she murmured. Of course, there was no response. Because once again, Zhang Chen left this world again, leaving her alone. For a moment, she felt even more heartache. Like a moth flying into a flame, her thoughts returned to the past, the village where she and her grandmother had always lived. A conversation emerged in her mind. "Qingning, you must always have a kind heart. No matter how dirty the world is, you must keep the innocence in your heart." "Why?" "Because only in this way can you live happily. When you meet the most important person in your life, he will also be happy." Qingning remembers it. Qingning once thought so. Because as long as she keeps smiling, the people around her will follow. Once. No matter what she encounters, Grandma's words will be like the last light, illuminating her world. But now. "Grandma, you are wrong," Qingning whispered. "She is not happy. The eldest brother is not happy either. A kind heart? If it is not oneself who decides good and evil, but this God. Then what is the use of this kindness?" Qingning roared. When she said this, she had gone from collapse to madness, and the monstrous anger in her eyes seemed to surge out at any time and swallow up the world. At this moment, she personally extinguished the last light in her heart. There was no light in her world anymore. She was crazy. She was completely crazy. Unlike Zhang Lianyu and Lin Mubai, she had no reason anymore. The scene changed again, and the ninth life arrived. Except Zhang Chen. She would rush to everyone who appeared, trying to tear that person apart alive. Although the end was futile, she kept trying, persevering. She wanted to kill everyone except Zhang Chen. Including herself. Suddenly. "Qingning. Don't mess around," a scolding sounded. Hearing this, Qingning's body froze. She regained a trace of clarity in her eyes and looked at the scene in front of her. In the picture, the young girl was facing a disciple of Zhifeng, using both fists and feet, beating and kicking, and crying pitifully. "Big brother, he said bad things about you. He said you don't care about Qingning at all, and don't like Qingning." The young Qingning was very angry. After seeing Zhang Chen, the disciple of Zhifeng was terrified and ran away directly. Zhang Chen did not stop her, but squatted down and held the young Qingning's hand. "Big brother is used to it, it's okay." Young Qingning did not understand the meaning of the sentence, but just asked, "Does big brother like Qingning?" "Of course I do." Zhang Chen smiled warmly, "especially Qingning at this age. Big brother, I feel happy as long as I see you smile." "Big brother, do you like Qingning's smile?" "Yes, I like it very much." "Well, Qingning will smile at you often from now on." "But senior brother, what do you mean by me at this age?" Zhang Chen didn't reply, but his expression darkened. "Elder brother, why don't you speak?" young Qingning asked. "It's okay." Holding her in his arms, Zhang Chen said softly, "Qingning, my senior brother once hoped that you would grow up quickly. But now, I hope that you will not grow up and remain so innocent forever." Qingning can't understand. "You don't need to understand, senior brother, I just need to understand." The 10th life came to an abrupt end. On the bumpy white tiger's back, Qingning slowly opened her eyes. Ever since she listened to the conversation between her young self and Zhang Chen, she had been in a daze and had returned to reality unknowingly. Touching the corners of her eyes, she seemed to be crying again. It's obvious that the tears have dried up long ago, but they still can't stop flowing down at this moment. She obviously decided to be strong after feeling the malice of the world, but she was so weak at the moment. Recalling that conversation in her mind, the tip of Qingning's nose felt sour. When she was young, she didn't understand, but now she understands. In her 9th life, her senior brother could no longer hold on. Because I can't hold on, I hope she never grows up. Because I couldn't hold on, I wanted to heal my already riddled soul by watching her smile. Suddenly, Qingning laughed again. Still smiling like crescent moon, innocent and romantic. Qingning, are you okay? Did you have another nightmare? Why are you crying and laughing at the same time? Bai Hu turned his head and asked in confusion. Qingning shook her head and answered the question, Xiao Bai, do you know? Senior brother likes me and likes to see me smile. Xiao Bai looked confused, his huge tiger eyes full of confusion. Senior brother? Could it be that person named Zhang Chen, who Qingning said was extremely unsavory? I don't understand it at all. Half an hour ago, it had heard Qingning recount Zhang Chen's evil deeds, but why, after just a nap, did Qingning mention Zhang Chen as if she was talking about her lover? Are all women so fickle? Fortunately, it is a female, not a woman. On the other hand, Qingning. She didn't mean to explain, she just kept smiling. In the 9th life, she had fallen into a darkness filled with guilt and heartache. She once extinguished the last light in her heart because of the injustice of this world. She once chose to let her reason be swallowed up by madness because she could not bear the heart-wrenching pain. But finally, her big brother, the elder brother who had been tortured for 9 lifetimes and was already overwhelmed, but with his own hands, in her heart, a lamp was lit. Jumping off the tiger's back, Qingning turned her back to the white tiger and stretched her limbs. Her movements are still so cute and playful. But the next second, Xiao Bai, it would be fun to bury someone alive, right? Qingning turned her head, her smile still the same. Xiao Bai is confused again. Something's wrong. It felt that something was wrong with the girl in front of it. 9 generations of villains, the heroines have all turned evil. Author, Fu Zituo. Chapter 58. The night was warm and the sky was dotted with stars. Linfeng sat on a rock beside the campfire with his hands folded, his right foot shaking constantly. Why hasn't junior sister Qingning come back yet? He muttered. At this moment, several hours had passed since Qingning left. Logically speaking, let alone being alone, even if he wanted to be quiet, it would be over. Did she encounter danger? Linfeng guessed again. That girl has extraordinary luck and will not die, old man Tianji replied. What do you know? No matter how powerful a woman is, she wants to be protected deep in her heart. Linfeng was disdainful. He knew Qingning would not be in trouble. But if there was another opportunity to be a hero and save the beauty, how could he let it go? Maybe, he could take Qingning down directly with the help of this incident. Thinking of this, Linfeng could not sit still. After getting up suddenly, he picked up the black knife beside him and dived into the dense forest. The moment he entered the dense forest, the chirping of insects suddenly stopped, and several black shadows passed by him on both sides. The air was still filled with a faint smell of blood. Lust makes you lose your mind. The mountains at night are very dangerous, be careful not to lose your life, Tianji old man cursed. If you don't care about your safety, you won't be able to pick up girls. Linfeng smiled and didn't care at all. Besides, have you heard that the son of destiny died on the way to find a woman? Tianji old man was speechless. Seeing Linfeng running around in the dense forest like a blind man, startling many animals. To be on the safe side, he had to say, go to the right, about 10 miles of mountain road. The girl is there. How do you know? Linfeng was surprised. Just now, I sensed the breath of the white tiger. It's strange to say that a big demon won't release its breath casually, so as not to bring disaster to itself. There's no fighting over there, and the white tiger seems to be doing it on purpose. It must be intentional. This is Sister Qingning asking me to go over. You go just because someone asks you to? Have you heard of the most vicious woman's heart? Of course I've heard of it, and I've seen it. But, no matter how vicious a woman is, she will become a good wife and mother when she meets me. Old man Tianji was speechless again. If that's the case, there's no way to talk about this day. No matter what he said, no matter how he made a fuss, Lin Feng still valued his life very much. He held a black knife, lowered his body, and shuttled through the dense forest. During this period, he felt several powerful breaths, but fortunately these breaths were just watching from a distance and had no intention of approaching. Finally, it took half an hour for Lin Feng to walk out of the dense forest, and his vision suddenly widened. He looked out. I saw a huge rock standing in front of me, and a girl was working under the moonlight. Yes, she was working. The girl was holding a shovel with a green spiritual wood handle and a top-grade sulfur copper shovel, and she was digging the purple soil under her feet. Occasionally, she would wipe the sweat from her forehead and chat with the white tiger beside her. Although the white tiger was blinking blankly most of the time, the girl would still laugh like a bell. Junior sister Qingning's laughter is still so refreshing, Lin Feng sighed. This laughter alone can sweep away all his fatigue. After saying that, he put away the black knife, with a faint smile on his lips, and moved closer. Junior sister Qingning, what are you doing? Lin Feng asked when he came to Qingning. Guess, Qingning smiled back. Lin Feng was stunned immediately. Although Qingning's smile was still so cute, he always felt that something seemed wrong. Before he could think about it, Qingning pointed to the ground under his feet and said, "This is Zijun blood soil." Zijun blood soil. Lin Feng blinked, he had never heard of it. This girl's luck is really good. Hearing this, the old man Tianji explained, Zijun blood soil, 6th grade spiritual soil. Its appearance is purple and red, and it turns into blood when it comes into contact with water. This is a heavy spiritual soil and can suppress soul power. The piece under her feet alone is 1,000 pounds heavy. If it is used to refine treasures, the power is even more extraordinary. More importantly, often under the Zijun blood soil, at least one earth treasure of the same level will be nourished. 6th grade spiritual soil. Lin Feng's eyes lit up immediately. This level of spiritual soil, let alone the lower domain, even many sects in the middle domain have never had it. What's more, there are earth treasures of the same level below. This is definitely the rhythm of getting rich. Do you want this Zijun blood soil, senior brother Lin? Qingning asked with a smile. Of course, I don't want to. Lin Feng straightened his expression and said seriously, this Zijun blood soil was discovered by junior sister, so it naturally belongs to junior sister. Junior sister, what you said is doubting my character. The voice just fell. Are you stupid? Now you have come to the central region, but the black knife in your hand is only of medium quality. If you use this Zijun blood soil to temper it, the black knife will surely be promoted to the top quality, the old man Tianji cursed. What are you arguing about? Lin Feng was unhappy and retorted in his heart, this is called retreating to advance. Do you understand? I saved Qingning's life, how can she not give me some? Humph, if she really doesn't give it to you, then you can cry, the old man Tianji snorted coldly. Lin Feng was too lazy to pay attention to him, and looked at Qingning again and said, Junior sister, take the soil quickly, senior brother, will never touch it. Really? Qingning narrowed her eyes. Of course. Well, then I won't give it to senior brother. Lin Feng was stunned. This plot is wrong. Why didn't they give it to him? He was ready to refuse it once, twice, and only accepted it reluctantly the third time. Haha, I knew you would fall into a woman's hands sooner or later, the old man Tianji laughed. Lin Feng was embarrassed. Seeing that Qingning really stopped paying attention to him and continued to take soil, he said again, Junior sister, this purple blood soil is as heavy as 1,000 pounds. I see you are tired too. How about senior brother to help you? Okay. Qingning agreed happily, threw the spiritual shovel in her hand to Lin Feng, and ran to sit next to Beihu. Leaning against Beihu, she put her hands on her knees and smiled, "Come on, senior brother Lin, no matter how much you dig out, it's all yours." Hearing this, Lin Feng shuddered immediately. He estimated that the purple blood soil under his feet was 6 feet long, 2 feet wide, and the depth was unknown. Even if it was only 1 foot deep, if he dug it all away, it would be enough to temper the black knife, and he could even take out a lot to sell. Don't dig hard. Get rich, now. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. 9 generations of villains, the heroines have all turned evil. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 59. Although he was very excited, Lin Feng still waved his hand. "Junior sister, you are joking. I am not interested in this spiritual soil at all." The voice fell. "Although I am not interested, you can take some to study." Worried that Qingning would not give it again, he hurriedly added. Qingning did not reply, but just smiled again. Lin Feng was not vague, rolled up his sleeves and started to work. But as soon as the shovel went down, the spiritual shovel specially used to dig natural treasures was directly bounced off by the purple blood soil. "Boy, you are ignorant, right?" The old man Tianji laughed and said, "I have said that this purple spiritual soil is as heavy as 1,000 pounds. Take it out, it can directly smash the cultivators who have just completed the Yuan Dan. How can you dig such heavy soil without using Yuan Li? Why didn't you say this earlier?" Lin Feng cursed in his heart. He looked back at Qingning, and after seeing that she didn't seem to notice his embarrassment, he used his luck Yuan Li, attached it to the spiritual shovel, and dug hard. He dug with great pleasure, one shovel after another. Soon, he dug out a deep rectangular pit, which was just big enough for one person to lie down. Zijun blood soil is indeed heavy soil. At this time, Lin Feng was sweating profusely and his vitality was exhausted. He did not intend to give up, but planned to rest for a while before continuing. "Don't dig, it's enough," Tianji old man advised, "these spiritual soils are enough. If you dig further, you will faint directly." And I sensed a crisis in the dark. Crisis? Lin Feng was shocked. He looked around with a vigilant face. But he looked left and right, except that Qingning was still smiling at him. He never found where the crisis was. Lin Feng always believed in Tianji old man's premonition. Although this old man usually goes against him, the two of them are in good and bad times, and they have saved his life many times at critical moments. Throwing down the spiritual shovel and holding the black knife, Lin Feng was nervous. But he waited and waited, but the crisis never came. "Junior sister Qingning, have you seen the bad guys?" Lin Feng asked Qingning. Yes, Qingning nodded. "Where?" Lin Feng was shocked and waved, "Come behind me quickly, I will protect you." Qingning did not answer, but smiled. Suddenly, a white shadow flashed, and a huge claw appeared in front of Lin Feng. He subconsciously wanted to dodge, but because of his lack of vitality, he could not catch up with the speed of the claw. The next second, the white claw slapped Lin Feng's cheek directly, and the latter immediately took off and spun rapidly in the air. Just as he was about to fly out, the white shadow suddenly jumped up again, pressed Lin Feng's chest with 2 front paws, and pressed him into the deep pit. Lying in the pit he had just dug, Lin Feng was confused. At this moment, he saw clearly that the white shadow that attacked him was actually Qingning's white tiger. "You beast! Junior sister Qingning was talking about you." Lin Feng was furious. "You still blinked and pretended to be innocent. I wondered why you, a great demon, usually look so cute and silly, It turns out it's all disguise. I'm not going to kill you. Qingning, come quickly. I'm holding him down. The white tiger spoke in human language and turned his head to shout. Speaking. Lin Feng was shocked, and what did this mean? What shocked him even more was yet to come. Qingning walked slowly and picked up the spiritual shovel that fell to the side. She hummed a song in her mouth, and although she was still smiling, it made people feel a chill. She shoveled up spiritual soil one shovel after another, and then poured it all on Lin Feng. Burying people alive is really interesting, Qingning smiled. The smile was still lovely, but the words she said gave people goosebumps and numbed their scalps. Lin Feng felt that he had seen a psychopath. He had never thought that Qingning, who was usually cute and innocent, actually had this unknown side. He wanted to struggle, but the purple blood soil on his body and the white tiger power comparable to that of a Tianyuan cultivator made him unable to move. Old man Tianji, hurry up. Use your soul power to help me out of trouble, Lin Feng shouted in his heart. But the answer he got was a deathly silence. At this time, Lin Feng remembered. This purple blood soil, in addition to being heavy, can also suppress soul power. So, he dug a pit and buried himself alive. You plotted against me, Lin Feng gritted his teeth, his eyes seemed to want to bite people. Did you? Qingning blinked her big eyes, looking innocent. I saved your life, Lin Feng roared again. So I'll see you off to the end. This logic is really too strong. There is no room for rebuttal. Just when Lin Feng wanted to say something again, Qingning frowned slightly and raised the shovel in her hand. Then, she knocked Lin Feng unconscious with one shovel. Is he noisy? Qingning asked the white tiger while continuing to shovel the soil. The white tiger's long whiskers on both sides trembled and nodded. Women are really scary. Fortunately, it is a female, not a woman. At dawn, a brand new mound of earth was formed. Qingning patted the soil on her hands, and a satisfied look appeared on her pretty face. The white tiger lay behind her, licked its paws, and yawned again, revealing a mouthful of sharp teeth with a cold glow, which was very scary. But when it closed its mouth, its round eyes and velvet ears looked a little silly and cute. Qingning, why did you bury him alive? Xiao Bai finally asked after a long pause. Because he's a bad guy. Qingning didn't even turn his head. How bad? So bad that he wants to eat you. So bad. Xiao Bai was shocked. This is simply unbearable. If someone else said this, it would naturally doubt it, but would Qingning lie to it? Although Qingning is a little bit wrong now, she is still the person it trusts the most. Moreover, it has long felt that Lin Feng would sneak a peek at it from time to time, and then show a strange look. Now think about it, Lin Feng should have wanted to eat it as early as that time. Quick, Qingning. While it's still hot, you dig Lin Feng out, I'll eat him first, Xiao Bai said with a fierce look in his eyes. You can't dig it out, he's not dead yet. Qingning shook his head. He's not dead yet? Xiao Bai was shocked again. Not only is he not dead, there are people who will save him, Qingning said again. Who? Xiao Bai asked. Qingning did not reply, but looked up at the sky, and then held up a red umbrella. Boom! Suddenly, the sky was filled with lightning and thunder, and heavy rain poured down. The rain dripped along the edge of the umbrella onto the purple blood soil around the earth mound, and the two merged into one to form blood water, flowing around. Looking at all this, the little white tiger's eyes widened. Unbelievable. If Qingning had not opened the umbrella in time, the purple blood soil covering Lin Feng would have also turned into blood water and flowed away, giving him a chance to escape. Everything proves that God wants to help Lin Feng escape. So, we buried a son of destiny alive. Xiao Bai felt his head buzzing. Yet Qingning nodded, and this son of destiny wants to eat you. Xiao Bai was shocked. It has been in the Hongduan Mountains for 100 years, and countless cultivators want to eat it, but it has never been as scared as it is now. Because that is the son of destiny. An existence favored by heaven and earth. Why? Xiaobai was unwilling to accept it. It had finally grown from a small demon to a big demon, and it had the hope of being promoted to the Demon King, but it was actually given to the son of destiny by God to eat. It's life, isn't it a life? Xiaobai, do you want to live? Qingning asked again. Qingning, no need to say. Xiaobai shook his head and interrupted, a ruthless look flashed in the tiger's eyes. I know, if you want to live, you must go against the sky. Qingning smiled with satisfaction, and with the help of Yuankai, she inserted the red umbrella on Lin Feng's grave. Xiaobai, I need you to stay here. No matter how long it takes, you must not let the wind blow down this red umbrella. Any cultivator who dares to approach will eat it. Can you do it? She asked. Yes, Xiaobai nodded seriously. It is related to its tiger life, it dare not be careless. Very good. Qingning touched its head, then turned and left. Qingning, where are you going? Xiaobai's shout came from behind. Go find the senior brother, Qingning replied. Can he help me defy the heavens? Xiaobai asked again. This time Qingning did not reply, and her figure gradually disappeared from its sight. Xiaobai thought that he should be able to do so. Because Qingning's back as she left was so resolute. She must have gone to help it defy the heavens. Hey! Sitting next to Lin Feng's grave, Xiaobai's ears drooped and he sighed. Why did it provoke the son of destiny? 9 generations of villains, the heroines have all turned evil. Author, Fu Zituo. Chapter 60. The vast sky was pure and unstained by clouds. A spirit boat and a white crane flew through the air. The spirit boat was about 10 feet long and 3 feet high. It was self-propelled without sails. Its body was purple, and the huge golden Zhang characters on both sides were particularly conspicuous. Zhang Chen stood on the deck of the spirit boat with his hands behind his back. His black clothes rustled. He closed his eyes and was enjoying the breeze. Big brother, I saw a fool, a younger brother shouted from a distance. What a fuss, Zhang Chen said disdainfully, I have seen several lunatics. What's so strange about fools? This fool is different. As the voice fell, a burly, rough-looking younger brother with a bit of flattery on his face came over. His name is Lu Wen, and he is Lu Wu's younger brother. Lu Wen has been very excited recently. Because his brother was given to Zhang Lianyu as a younger brother. And he replaced Lu Wu's position and became Zhang Chen's first younger brother. This is definitely the rhythm of taking off. Big brother, that idiot is really stupid. He actually built a hut in the middle of the wide road below. Or he built it along the way, a total of at least a dozen, Lu Wen laughed. Well, that's really stupid. Zhang Chen opened his eyes. After looking at Lu Wen, he shook his head slightly. The elder brother is called Lu Wu, but he is thin, and the younger brother is called Lu Wen, but he is burly. This name is completely reversed. Did you see the appearance of the idiot clearly? Zhang Chen asked again. Lu Wen shook his head and smiled, the distance is too high, and the idiot is busy working, so I can't see clearly. But big brother, I actually think that the idiot's back is a little familiar, don't you think it's strange? Maybe it's your brother, after all, he calls himself a professional hut owner, Zhang Chen joked. Hearing this, Lu Wen was stunned. If Zhang Chen didn't say it, he wouldn't think it. Now thinking back, that back seems to be a bit like Lu Wu. Before he could continue thinking. Big brother, I saw the second brother, another younger brother shouted. Lin Mubai. Zhang Chen was stunned and quickly stepped forward to watch. As expected. In the dense forest beside the wide road below, Lin Mubai was standing next to a wooden shed. His upper body was completely naked, and he held a machete in each hand, sharpening the knife. Perhaps he noticed the movement above his head, Lin Mubai suddenly raised his head, and after seeing the outline of the spirit boat clearly, he threw the machete in his hand to the ground, and then waved his hands, jumping and shouting, "Big brother!" Zhang Chen's face darkened, and he immediately retracted his head that was sticking out of the spirit boat. "Big brother, don't you go down to pick up the second brother? The Peak Master specifically told you to take him back." Lu Wen wondered. "Second senior brother? Where did the second senior brother come from?" Zhang Chen said with a straight face. "Remember, that was a savage." Lu Wen was stunned. Soon he understood what Zhang Chen meant, and echoed, "Yes, he is still a shameless savage who launches sneak attacks and self-harms when he disagrees with others. I don't know him at all." Zhang Chen nodded with satisfaction. He never expected it. This place is only 100 miles away from the Hongduan Mountains, and a full 600 miles away from the Juyan sect. That Lin Mubai is crazy for 600 miles, and he is crazy here. He didn't think much about Zhang Lianyu's madness. After all, he could take advantage of her by the way. But Lin Mubai is crazy? Sorry, he just wants to stay as far away as possible. Although Xiao Hongyi asked him to take Lin Mubai back, he didn't take it to heart at all. Anyway, Lin Mubai has a congenital Taoist bone, and it is impossible for him to go crazy all the time. When he is crazy enough, he will naturally go back. Big brother, that savage is chasing us," Lu Wen suddenly said in surprise. "What?" Zhang Chen was also shocked. "He seems to be saying something," Lu Wen said again. "What did he say?" "Use your vitality and listen carefully." "Okay, I'll listen." He said. "Big brother, go with peace of mind." Zhang Chen's mouth twitched immediately. "Go with peace of mind? This is a curse to death. It's simply outrageous." "Lu Wen. Where is the thunder spirit cannon on the spirit boat? Bring it over to me and blast it." Zhang Chen was angry. "Ah," Lu Wen was confused. The spirit boat they were riding was a 6th grade spirit boat. In addition to the protective magic array, it was also equipped with some spirit cannons that were activated by spirit crystals. In the central region, most of these level spirit boats are used by the sect to transport disciples or transport supplies, but the Zhang family is rich, so Zhang Chen directly uses it as a means of transportation. The reason why Lu Wen was surprised was because the thunder spirit cannon was quite powerful. A cultivator in the lower 4 realms was directly turned into ashes after being hit by a cannon. Although low-level Yuandan cultivators can resist, they will also be injured. "What? Hurry up," Zhang Chen kicked him directly. Lu Wen did not dare to delay any longer and acted immediately. In a moment. Boom! Boom! Accompanied by the sound of artillery fire, several huge thunder balls were emitted from the spirit boat, and quickly bombarded Lin Mubai, who was chasing the spirit boat, and instantly bombarded him to flee with his head in his hands. Haha! Zhang Chen felt comfortable now. The behavior is in line with the villain's character setting. Congratulations to the host for improving his cultivation from the early stage of Renayuan to the middle stage. The moment the system text disappeared, a strong heat wave burst out from Zhang Chen's body, blowing Lu Wen, who was standing beside him, unable to open his eyes. This made Lu Wen admire him very much. He is worthy of being the senior brother of Zhu Feng. He can break through by bullying his junior brother. Suddenly, he froze again, pointing at Lin Mubai below and said, "Big brother, he seems to be saying something again. Try it again." "Good." He said, "Big brother, I'd rather be beaten by you than be beaten." Zhang Chen's mouth twitched. He finally saw that when Lin Mubai went crazy, he was a masochist. Beating him could only satisfy his special hobby. Refill the spirit crystals, and leave quickly. Stay away from this lunatic in the future. Zhang Chen waved his hand and urged. Soon, the spirit boat accelerated and disappeared in an instant. Watching the spirit boat disappear from sight, Lin Muibai below sighed and felt uncomfortable. He wanted to travel around with Big Brother again and see the prosperity of the world for 1,000 days. However, Zhang Chen ran away as soon as he saw him. Sure enough, he refused to forgive him. Lin Muibai, a surprised voice suddenly sounded. Lin Muibai looked in the direction of the voice and saw a woman wearing a white cloud-colored glass skirt and holding an ice jade cold sword standing in front. Zhang Lianyu, what are you doing here? He frowned. After saying that, he said in his heart, looking back 9 lives, this Zhang Lianyu is like the imperial daughter who protects the way, and is very close to Lin Feng. Although she is crazy, we must be on guard. I want to ask you this too. Zhang Lianyu's face was very cold. She also guessed in her heart, looking back 9 lives, this Lin Muibai is like Lin Feng's younger brother, and has always believed in him. I don't know if he is really crazy or fake at this time, but if he is still like this in this life, I will press him and Lin Feng to death in the toilet. The two thought about it and looked at each other directly, both with unfriendly expressions. But soon, the two sneered again, and then turned their heads and left. Humph, he is really a lunatic. The moment they turned around, they sneered at the same time.